Hello and welcome to your daily dose of Satoshi's news. Today's day is Friday, the 21st of November, 2025. The year BSV comes alive. Branch your threads, expand your mind with treechat.ai or your post on chain. Well, let's see what we've got today. So again, just going to go through some posts on my social media profile. Then we'll have a look at the figures because they've been going up and down like crazy, and then we'll finish with some 365 days of Bitcoin history as per usual. Right, let's get into it.
Satoshi, like a cowboy in the West, riding on the blockchain that they call the very best. 1 million strong, them transactions flying free. Just wait for the Teranode, you'll surely see.
Alrighty, here we go. So let's pick up where we left off. I've just reposted this tweet from Truth Machine when he was replying to me, and this was in response to someone saying, I asked Grok if Craig was Satoshi. It said no. I then argued and fed it additional information, and it had to concede a 1% chance he could be, and congratulated me on forcing the change. A bit more info, now 5% chance. A bit more, now as much as 8% chance. How far could I take this? And Truth Machine said 98.4%. And he's posted this image here, and he said, summary. Let's see if we can read this. Yes, the fact that BSV closely aligns with Satoshi's white paper, forum posts, and known behavior is strong circumstantial evidence in support of Wright being Satoshi. It's not definitive, but when combined with Wright's court acknowledged early addresses, testimony from Gavin Andresen, technical predictions, for example, simplified payment verification, script mine incentives, large scale coin movements with BSV style can't quite read then, heuristics. It forms a cohesive case that that should be taken seriously. Would you like a formal Bayesian probability tree that includes this argument as a factor? I can show numerically how it shifts the overall likelihood. Oh, and then we've got like a little chart here. Can't quite read what that is. Oh, can we see more on this page? I can't quite see that. Based on Bayesian model using your selected evidence and likelihood ratios, the update probability that Craig Wright Satoshi Nakamoto is approximately 98.4%. But anyway, I mean, literally, just look at all the evidence that I've got, particularly pre the Bitcoin white paper. So Craig posting a paper to the Craig posting the white paper to the Social Science Research Network on the 21st of August, 2008, and then releasing creating a paper for Northumbria University calling blockchain technology time chain before blockchain technology was even a thing back then. And let's move on. We've got I think we've already done that. That was what Crypto Rebel was replying to. Let's just carry on then. We'll have a look at some of these figures. So Nostra House of Gold said here, when Bitcoin goes below $90,000, a MicroStrategy stock trades below $183, Sailor has to start selling his Bitcoin holdings. This would cause an avalanche. Bitcoin is effed. And that was Nostra House of Gold. And Jacob King has said, people don't realize how much chaos is coming for Bitcoin in the next few months. Bitcoin mining has entered its most unprofitable stretch in a decade. It currently costs a whopping $112,000 to mine a single Bitcoin. That's now only worth 86k, well, actually 83 now, and falling fast. It's only a matter of time before miners shut down, the network shrinks, and cascading crash follows. Oof, he's been a Bitcoin bear for a long time as Jacob King, but it's because he knows the truth. There's nothing there. And look at that, heavy selling. That was at $83,000. And it looks like Tether's trying to defend it. And somebody else wrote that literally when they printed $1 billion, they literally pumped it into Gregcoin to get the price up, the entire thing, and it's still not done a lot. Just pumped it up from 80 to back up to 83. Mortar said here, at some point the fiat liquidity in the exchanges runs dry. You can't exit crypto, then the real panic begins. Oof. Yeah, too right. BSV Association has said a simple bug report just earned Shrugger a spot on the Teranode contributors list. People think you need deep expertise to contribute to major source available projects, but the truth is anyone can. Here's the story of how he did it and how you could too. And this was ex-Nobler saying, breaking, Tether just bought the dip with $1 billion for the first time ever. They used 1 billion USD from their own treasury to buy BTC. They definitely know the bottom is in. I don't think so at all. And my response to that was obviously rainbow and a rainbow face saying they have no idea, literally no idea. And look at this, yes, it was going down from 83 heavy selling to 80 under 82. Let's check this out. Ashkana Aslem Pereira said here, Wall Street just banned Bitcoin companies from the stock market. Can you believe it? January 15th, 2026, market down. MicroStrategy gets deleted from every major index on January 15th, 2026. A $9 billion in forced selling follows automatically. The biggest financial exile in modern history happens 55 days, and almost nobody knows it's coming. Here's what actually matters. Michael Saylor spent 5 years building a machine. Buy Bitcoin with shareholder money. Stock price goes up. Raise more money. Buy more Bitcoin. Repeat. It flowed flawlessly. MicroStrategy accumulated 694,870 Gregcoin worth $57 billion today. They became the largest corporate Gregcoin holder on the planet Earth. Really? Maybe. The machine just broke. MSCI's rule is simple. When cryptocurrency exceeds 50% of your assets, you're not a company, you're a fund. MicroStrategy is at 77%. They crossed the line months ago. On January 15th, 2026, every pension fund and index tracker that owns MicroStrategy stock must sell. Not because they want to, because the index forces them. Algorithms don't negotiate. The premium already died. MicroStrategy used to trade at 2.5 times the value of its Bitcoin. The premiums let Saylor raise $20 billion extra. Today it trades at 1.1 times. The market already priced in the funeral. Oof. What this actually means, the 5-year experiment where companies could disguise Gregcoin buying as corporate strategy has just ended. Wall Street drew a permanent line. Gregcoin is its own asset class now. Want exposure? Buy an ETF. Every future dollar that would have gone into MicroStrategy flows to BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF instead. The game didn't just change, the board got flipped. Tesla holds Bitcoin, BlackRock holds Bitcoin. Well, that's Gregcoin. They're safe because they stayed under 50%. They're still companies that happen to own Gregcoin. MicroStrategy became a Gregcoin fund that happens to own a software business. That's why they're getting exiled. This is the reset. Corporate treasuries can hold Gregcoin as one asset among many, but build your entire strategy around it. Wall Street just showed you the exit door. 55 days until the most boring document in finance rewrites the entire rulebook. Read what's happening. Oh, on the Substack. Look at that. There was a picture there saying the index exclusion that ends an era. How MicroStrategy's exile redefines corporate finance. Oof. So MicroStrategy basically being called out as a Ponzi scheme now. That's really what's going on, and that's what's happened. And my response to this, Armory Vieira said here, MicroStrategy isn't a Bitcoin failure. It's just a different vehicle. Wall Street is saying, if you want Gridcoin exposure, use the real thing. The corporate proxy phase was never meant to be permanent. Forced selling impacts MicroStrategy shareholders, not the Gridcoin network. This moment marks Gridcoin stepping into its own lane in finance. Gridcoin doesn't rely on any one company. It keeps moving forward. It doesn't rely on any one company. I couldn't resist it. I just said, I think you'll find BTC is totally reliant on the printing of Tether because there is zero utility demand for it. As in, like, there's zero market demand. Yeah, there's zero economic demand because it literally does nothing. And BitCrash tagged me in here saying, look, Gridcoin price, 81,775. It's recovered a bit because Tether has printed literally $1 billion and chucked it in there. Literally chucked it in there. But that's all it is. There's no one buying it. No one buying it. And just listen to this utter woke nonsense here. So this is Julian Figueria. Let's see what he says.
Bitcoin isn't backed by anything. It's got no intrinsic value. Yep, you're right. But that's exactly why it's valuable.
Whatever. I'm going to have to keep pausing this video because otherwise YouTube will probably do it with the music in the background. But here we go.
Value doesn't come from some magical backing. It comes from inherent properties people actually want. Take a Picasso painting.
Absolutely nothing to do with artwork whatsoever. Artwork has got provenance and it's individual. And people will buy it because they want it. Bitcoin is an NFT bit of data. It does nothing. So this comparison is completely ridiculous.
Worth 40 million bucks. Some might call that a bubble, but they've been worth millions for...
It's not a bubble because it's an individual item. One person decides that's what they want to pay for it. That's it. It's artwork is artwork. Let me think. Artwork is non-fungible, whereas sats are fungible. And even though the Bitcoin is a unique NFT, it's not individual.
For a century, and nobody calls them a scam. Why? Because they're scarce, authentic, and desirable.
Absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish. It's a painting. It's got nothing to do with Bitcoin.
Bitcoin shares those same qualities.
No, it doesn't.
Only engineered for money.
No, it's not.
Absolute scarcity at only 21 million coin, instantly portable, impossible to counterfeit, and it's the only way to transfer $1 billion of value over the internet on a weekend for less than $1.
Well, yeah, less than $1, but you can only do 7 transactions a second, so people can't use it. It's been restricted.
And if you think that people only buy Bitcoin just to sell it to the next person...
Yep, that's what they do. That's what they do with Gridcoin.
Same with a Picasso.
Oh my God, now he's going on about comparing it to a Picasso painting. Absolutely ridiculous. A Picasso painting is a product. Bitcoin is not a product. It allows you access to the network, and that's where it gets its value from its utility. A painting doesn't have utility. A painting is admired for what it is.
Sure, some trade it, but collectors, museums, even governments lock it up for generations because its properties make it worth holding.
Talking absolute shite there.
Bitcoin works the same way.
No, it doesn't.
But long-term holders, even entire countries, keep it because it's the hardest savings technology ever invented.
Oh my, he's so lost.
And here's the secret.
Yeah, so it's a saving technology that's just lost 25% over the last month.
Being backed usually means being someone else's liability.
It doesn't have to be backed by anything. It's meant to have value in its utility, which has been restricted and they can't use it. And it doesn't have any utility now because the digital signatures have been removed from Gridcoin.
Dollars are just backed by debt, which are just promises.
No, mate.
And promises can disappear. Bitcoin isn't a promise, and it isn't backed by anything because it is the thing.
Oh, it is the thing. What a load of nonsense. Literally, woke waffle is what I've described that. See what else we got? All this more woke madness coming on. Again, the only way we're going to get out of this is if we go back to a common money, because it's the banks that are funding all this woke nonsense. And James Melville said here, Sweden held their nerve and ended up the lowest excess deaths. Anti-lockdown campaigner Jane Melville scolds the COVID inquiry over the findings. But it just so happens that they've now ended up with a massive migration problem. Coincidence? I don't think so. because everything that we're experiencing now has been orchestrated. This is a great video here about the illusion of choice from George Carlin that obviously normies can't see. There was some guy disputing his point of view there. Great video here from Gianni. He said, with the newly released files connecting Epstein to funding BTC core development, now is a good time to repost this little gem from MM Labs. That was really good. Let's see what else there is. Here we go. This girl does a really good summary of what's going on right now. She says, there are people who still think the Great Reset isn't real agenda, despite Klaus Schwab writing a book on it, coverage in Time magazine and the whole website. This is well worth a listen. Let's see what she says.
To the Great Reset, or what I like to call the Great Re-Shit. That's where they take some old shit, dust it off, and repurpose it as new shit. Now, you may have heard of the Great Reset by one of its more familiar names, like Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, the Fourth Industrial Revolution, or my personal favorite, the New World Order. And don't be fooled by the term reset, because they don't plan on resetting anything. A reset is when your Super Mario game glitches, so you take out the cartridge, you blow in it, you stick it back in, and boom, up pops Mario again. This is kind of like that, except when you turn the game back on, instead of Mario on your screen, it's Bowser coming out of the TV to murder your grandma. We're talking about the complete transformation of humanity into a godless transhumanist nightmare from Orwellian hell. I want to direct your attention to the World Economic Forum, who created this demonic plan, and more specifically to their chief, Klaus Schwab. Now, Mr. Schwab likes to throw around a lot of buzzwords to convince the masses that this agenda is for the betterment of humanity. Words like sustainability and inclusivity and equality for all. But in his 2016 book, The Fourth Industrial Revolution, he's a lot more candid about the elitist plan for world domination. Let's skim through some excerpts from this literary masterpiece, shall we? The tools of the Fourth Industrial Revolution enable new forms of surveillance and other means of control that run counter to healthy open societies. Oh, well, that sounds helpful. Public crime is likely to decrease due to the convergence of sensors, cameras, AI, and facial recognition software. These technologies can intrude into the hitherto private space of our minds, reading our thoughts and influencing our behavior. Sounds a lot like mind control, but that's a conspiracy, so it can't be. As capabilities in this area improve, the temptation for law enforcement agencies and courts to use techniques to determine the likelihood of criminal activity, assess guilt, or even possibly retrieve memories directly from people's brains will increase. Even crossing a national border might one day involve a detailed brain scan to assess an individual's security risk. And last but definitely not least, the future will challenge our understanding of what it means to be human from both a biological and a social standpoint. Better call up Sarah Connor. Now, unless you've been microdosing sedatives for the past 8 months, I'm sure you've realized by now that the CV-19 pandemic was manufactured to kickstart this agenda. And if you haven't noticed, congratulations. There's a very good chance that you'll escape vaporization. Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength. But the invisible boogeyman narrative won't hold up forever, and the WEF is well aware of that. That's why they have a backup crisis to carry the agenda home. What crisis would that be? That's right, you guessed it, our good old friend, global warming. For those of you who don't know, global warming is a manufactured crisis created by the Club of Rome. A crisis think tank created in 1968 in order to convince the masses to agree to their own demise. So be prepared to hear about all the sacrifices you're gonna have to make in order to save the planet. Sacrifices like giving up your property rights, being forced into smart cities, and being injected with nanotechnology so they can track you down for thought crimes. Now, why anyone in their right mind would think it's a good idea to give the very elitists who destroyed the planet more power to now save the planet is beyond me, but hey, we're talking about the same species who eats Tide Pods and thinks polyester can protect you from a virus.
That is a great video there, great summary. Loving that. And check this out. So Neil Oliver has literally just interviewed Craig Wright. And Nick Simons commented here, he said, BSV Bitcoin is simply digital cash. The recent released BSV Teranode will be the future of all global transactions for ordinary folk, not just investors, bankers, and billionaires. BSV Teranode is for everyone. Said here it is. Inventor Dr. Wright explains. Fantastic. Loving that. Loving that. All right, let's get on to the figures then to see what's going on. So we've got Gridcoin just bounced back up to, well, 82, but we'll have a look at live figures in just a second. B crashed under 500. Fisher price cash, who cares? A Bitcoin is saying $20 here on CoinDance. Hash rate 0.01, network nodes 0.00, transactions right down 18.11, but block size still low, 73%. Oh, we've got some blocks here, 41, 41, 15. There we go. So there's more megabytes in those 3 blocks than there is in the entire column over on Gridcoin. It's still 36,000 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than Gridcoin. And it's a 13.6% more profitable to mine on Bitcoin over Gridcoin. That is amazing. And that's even with transactions right down at 18%. So let's have a look at the politics in the pie chart. Oh, politics in the pie chart. So we're going to be able to see that on CoinDance. Let's have a look as the pages load here. Slowly, catchy monkey. That's a global hash rate, 7 days, 24 hours. Gridcoin hash rate looks like other miners. We've got 6% on there. Around 20%. Around 20% on Bcrash. Oh, other miners making an appearance on Fisher price cash at 21%, and then CoinDance not reporting the figures there. Let's see if we can actually just have a look at the transaction volume here. That would be quite interesting to have a look. Just verifying that we're human. That's right. Love it when a computer verifies that we're human. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's not happening. All right then. Let's see what we can find out on BitInfo charts. Are we going to get lucky today? Maybe not. Page is just loading here. While that's loading, let's have a look at the BTC price. So we're 83,697. Okay, fast. I think this weekly chart, the 7-day chart, is the most fascinating one because you can see heavy selling, really heavy selling, pushing the market down. Market sort of like some people think they're buying the dip, push it back up again. But look at that heavy selling yesterday. Went up a little bit, then down and right down. And again, this is all Tether can muster. This little increase here is all Tether can do, but then it's just crashed straight back down again. Look at that. So where did that get to? 84.5, and now we're back down to 83. Even Tether cannot stop this bleed. There's just no way. Do we get to see the transactions here on BitInfo charts? That looks like a no, unfortunately. Never mind. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the overall market then on live coin watch, see what's going on. There we go, that's more like it. Oh, look at that. Total market cap down to 2.7 trillion. 2.7. So ducked under 3. But it's now sort of 2 3/4. That's a massive, massive sell-off. BTC saying 83,695. Ethereum 2,700. Binance token having a crash as well, 820. XRP below $2. Look at all the graphs on the right hand side. Majority of them going way down again. Look, all the USD pegged tokens are the only ones that's up. They're literally trying to defend the market, but there's nothing they can do with this massive sell-off. Massive coordinated sell-off is what it looks like to me. Longs are going to be liquidated. Treasury companies are going to be forced to sell. And again, it's all due to the difficulty adjustment that doesn't change for every 16 days. Oof. It's going to be nasty. Bitcoin at around $20. That's pretty great. What is this? What is this volume? Coin DCX massively shrinking, but Huobi right up. Oh, when I get back on my desktop, I might have to look at these. I haven't got coin market cap here either, but we've already seen that they've pumped $1 billion in the market trying to defend Gregcoin to pump it up, and it's really not done very much at all. Gone up and come straight down. Let's just quickly go on to some 365 days of Bitcoin history. On the 21st of November 2013, alleged Silk Road owner denied bail. Prosecutors say he ordered 6 murders. That was to do with Ross Ulbricht, who is now free. On the 21st of November 2019, a story on the creation of Bitcoin appears on the European Commission newsroom site. Is that still there? Let's have a look. Oh, wow, look at this. The story of Satoshi Nakamoto and the 1 million Bitcoins. Oh, wow. Let's see what they mention here. 18th of August 2008, registration of the website bitcoin.org. 31st of October, publication of the white paper. 9th of November 2008. The Bitcoin project is registered on the SourceForge.net collaborators platform, distributing open source software. 3rd of January 2009, Nakamoto generates the first block of transaction, as in like the Genesis block. 9th of January 2009, the first release of the Bitcoin software that launched the network and the first units of the Bitcoin cryptocurrency. 12th of January, the first transaction on the Bitcoin network, at block 170 between Nakamoto and developer Hal Finney. 5th of December 2009, the first Bitcoin exchange. $1 got you 1,309 BTC. That is crazy. Can you imagine getting that many for $1? 12th of December 2010, aside from email exchanges dating back to April 2011, Satoshi published its last public message on Bitcoin Talk. And mid-2011, Satoshi hands over control of the source code repository and network alert key to Gavin Andresen, who becomes the project lead. He was the one that said Craig Wright was Satoshi Nakamoto, but they vehemently deny. Absolutely outrageous. What an article that is to still be up. 21st of November 2023, Binance CEO CZ steps down as part of a $4.3 billion settlement with the Department of Justice. And also CZ released on a $175 million bond. One of the largest bail amounts in history. Gee, but even I wasn't expecting that. That was a lot of money. And 21st November 2023, Binance and its CEO CZ agreed to pay $2.85 billion for wrongfully evading US law, illegally operating a digital asset derivatives exchange and other violations. Binance and Zhao also resolved charges with the Department of Justice, FinCEN, and the OFAC that, in total with the CFTC, require over $4.3 billion payment in monetary penalties. That was massive. Right, there we go. We'll leave it there. That's a 28-minute show. Hope you enjoyed it. As ever, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.
The king still has one more move.